It's really important to experiment when it comes to making AI videos, and it is unfortunate that most of these closed source options like Runway, Kling, and Luma, etc., all cost credits. And there's really no unlimited option for any of them, except notably for Sora by OpenAI, which has been instrumental, I would say, in my career as far as growing my Instagram page. And the experimentation that it allows, because it's unlimited, is crucial. And I've considered essential in my tool set to have that. I still use the other platforms mainly because some of them do things much better than Sora, and so I kind of have to just lean on them from time to time. But if it were up to me, I would just use Sora for everything top to bottom because of the unlimited plan, the unlimited credits. I really think it's important for these other companies to consider offering plans like that more in line with Sora and the open source community, frankly. One of the great advantages of open source is the fact that you can run as many generations as you want. You don't have to keep in mind how many credits you have left when you're running things through. So it's a really important part of the creative process, in my opinion. It's been really instrumental in getting my career off the ground. Using Sora, I mean, my Instagram just blew up the moment I started learning the ins and outs of Sora. But I would also credit that to the fact that I was able to just make hundreds, even thousands of videos and just run through different variants. And so much was left on the cutting room floor in that process. But that's the beauty of it all, the experimentation, the deep experimentation. And so I really advocate, in the event that any of these other companies watch my videos, Kling or anybody, please consider an unlimited option. Yeah, experimentation is really important because it's something that I think the industry as a whole is really going to have to meditate on, because not just with videos, but anything AI related costs credits, really. I don't see a whole lot of unlimited options across any of these platforms. And it's so important for the creative process to not have to worry and think about credits or money spent. I mean, back in the early Adobe days with Photoshop and Illustrator, and even still today, you don't have to worry really about paying money to use the software. I mean, you have to pay it monthly for the Creative Cloud now, sure, but at least you're not limited as far as how much you can use the programs. You understand? It's a pretty big bottleneck, I think, that is going to hold AI back as a whole compared to other mediums of creative expression. They're going to have to figure this whole credit thing out because it's just such a bottleneck, you guys. I've been very fortunate that I've gotten invited into some of these creator programs on these platforms, which do offer some complimentary credits, and that's great. I do still end up paying for the platforms though anyway, because I go through credits so quickly that I end up needing to refuel anyhow. And for the most part, I pay for all these platforms anyways. So it makes a very small dent in the situation for me. It's a very appreciated dent. I'm very fortunate to be in some of these creative programs, but largely, you guys, it's just not a solution. A long-term type of solution is to hope to get invited into these programs. They need to make subscription models, I guess, which do allow for unlimited expression. And so that was the main message I really wanted to get across in this video, is just how important experimentation is. Back in the early days, and when I say early, I just mean early last year, like all of this is very recent. But when I was first really getting started with AI video, I was doing it with open source, with Comfy UI, Stable Diffusion, Animate Diff, which really the only barrier to entry is a serviceable computer rig. But if you have decent enough hardware, you can run things to your heart's content. You can just make stuff forever, unlimited. And I, just like with Sora, have a lot of stuff on the cutting room floor, and I went through thousands upon thousands of generations. But it was so important in my process to finally arrive at works that were meaningful and that were really good, is that I had to do that deep experimentation and exploration of the software and the technology. It's very, very important. I don't think I would be anywhere near where I am now without having the option to fully explore unfettered access to these tools. So definitely this is a problem that needs to be solved in the industry. I am not the one to figure out the solution, but I'm just pointing out that it is a problem. And for creators like me, we are desperate really for a solution so that we can keep creating uninhibited by costs. Some costs, sure, like a monthly subscription, that's one thing. But then having to just nickel and dime us after we've burned through that supply of credits. It's just too much. It's not very accessible to the common person. And I've gotten that complaint a lot from my fans and my audience that they want to do what I do and they love the tools, but they recognize that it's really expensive to get as involved as I've gotten, to use all the tools that I use. And they're very right. What I do is not cheap, especially if you're left out of these creative programs. It's just prohibitively expensive. Something needs to be done about that. And it's not going to come from just one platform. I don't think that it can, because as I've mentioned in previous videos and course material, uh, these tools have strengths and weaknesses, all of them, and you only learn this after using them extensively. And if it were up to me, I'd love to just use Sora for everything all in one, but it would not serve all of my needs. So many of the tools do things really well and much better than others, like Kling does image to video way better than Sora, for example. And VO3 obviously does text to video better than practically anybody. It's not practical to imagine like an all-in-one kind of solution. And I know some of these sites are offering that, like Korea, things of that nature. I actually haven't seen what their pricing models look like these days, but I know for a fact that they're all credits based. I mean, everything is credits based, that as far as I can see. And if I'm wrong, please let me know. If there's any others out there similar to Sora where they offer a truly unlimited approach, please let me know, because I want to sink my teeth into that. And that's really the overarching theme of this video, as you can tell, is experimentation and the importance of it. It's super important, and not just with AI, but with anything creative in life. Experimentation is the necessary gauntlet one must go through to arrive at something truly special. You have to go through the process, and you have to enjoy the process. You have to enjoy experimentation on a deep level, obsessively even, if you want to really stand out. And for better or for worse, I'm obsessed with tinkering, meddling, experimenting with all of these different things. Yeah, it's really important to be obsessed with what you do, especially if you're going to be spending so much money on credits. You have to feel passionate about what you're doing and have no regrets, really, because the costs will add up, and you're just going to have to come to peace with that. I certainly have, because it's my business. But if it isn't your business, you're going to have to view it as an expensive hobby, because as it currently stands, at least in the closed source space, it's an expensive hobby. So, yeah, y'all. Thanks for coming by. Like and subscribe, please. It helps me to grow and to get my message out to more and more people. And, well, I'm just really happy to have you here in general. Don't feel any pressure to do anything really other than watch. And I'm still happy to have you. So, I guess I'll catch you next time, okay? Peace.